Hi, and welcome to the Real Life Scoop, where you will find ideas, insights, and inspiration on all things real estate and real life. So today I'm so excited because I have my first mom star interview. And mom stars are just rock stars to me, who are moms that are taking care of their kids and they're out there pursuing their careers or a new business or some sort of goal or passion, whatever that may be. So I'm really excited to talk with Beth Morrison today. I saw that she was launching a women's retreat company, and I knew that was just perfect for my channel and for my first interview. So welcome, Beth.
Thank you.
And so why don't you just tell me a little bit about what you're doing right now, and we'll kind of get into more detail.
Yep. Okay, so I just recently, about 2 weeks ago, launched the website to open up our women's wellness retreats, where women can go away, steal a few days for themselves, focus on whatever their wellness goals are. Everybody has a different place, different things that they're working on, coming from a different place. So we'll really individualize the experience for each guest.
That is so really exciting.
Yeah,
really
it is very exciting.
But I want to go back first because this is what I find fascinating, and I know there's a lot of moms out there that maybe are on their second career or trying to do something different after kids, and I know you probably had a career long before you had kids, so I kind of wanted to go back to that and kind of find out what did you do and what did you go to school for, and kind of how did you start?
Right. So I was an education major in college.
Okay.
And so out of college, I started teaching. I started in 7th grade, then moved to 8th grade.
Okay.
So I taught middle school while I was getting my master's in administration.
Okay.
And then I had a school administration role for a few years.
Oh, wow.
And then I decided to leave that role when I was getting ready to have my daughter.
Okay.
It was a very time-consuming role, and I felt like as much as I loved the career, I gave it my all, and I didn't think I could keep that level of investment after I had my own kids.
Okay.
So I pulled back from that, resigned, and then went, even after I had my daughter, then I went back to some part-time education work. I did some contract work for the State Department of Education.
Okay.
I taught a couple master's classes
as
an adjunct professor, and then we began moving.
I understand
for my husband's job, and so that was kind of the end. Once we moved, our first move, I left the education field and did not go back.
So when you were in school, or when you were choosing to get your master's and go on to administration, did you think about what that life would look like with kids, or did you even know?
I don't know. That's a good question. I'm not sure if I did. I think it just felt like a natural progression to me that I was teaching, and I did published some articles about effective teaching habits. I ran some workshops about effective teaching, and I felt like moving into a leadership role was kind of a natural progression.
Okay.
So I thought, well, I'll get my master's and see, and then a job opened up, and they said, we want you to start. So it may have actually, the job presented itself sooner than maybe I thought it would, but I don't know, and I probably never went into it thinking, oh, I'll quit when I have kids.
Right.
But once you get into the job and you realize just how time-consuming and emotionally consuming it is, then I just felt like it wasn't for me.
Yeah, and I know that feeling because that's how it was when I was doing corporate law. And as much as they said it was family friendly, you don't know what that means until you have your first child.
Right.
And so I think, it's hard for young women to think that far ahead and what's their life going to look like when they have kids. But so I can understand that. And then when you have a husband who is relocating and you're having to move, then you've got to figure out what to do next.
Right. And it was good for a while. I think there was a lot of good part-time options for me. And then we left Cincinnati, we moved to New York City, and those part-time options were not available.
Right.
And so I just decided, okay, I'm going to stay home right now. It was a very hard transition when I went from even that part-time work to staying home completely.
Right.
You know, I had a new baby once we were there, and it was hard. It was a little isolating, and so it can be difficult.
Yes. Yeah, and that's why I'm so fascinated by it, because a lot of women go through the same struggles and the same, situations.
Right.
So then, you started having your kids, and you have 2 children, right?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. And so when did you have the itch to get out there and try something new? And did you consider going back to education, or were you just ready to move on to something else?
So I got very involved after one of our moves in kind of, I guess you could say I went on my own health and wellness journey.
Okay.
I changed a lot. I had been living kind of an unhealthy lifestyle, really struggling with weight, not exercising the correct ways. So as I was going through that journey, I was thinking about kind of what I wanted to do with a career. And I thought, well, I can kind of take the fundamentals of what I was in education,
right,
and transfer it to this health and wellness,
right,
field. So, helping people set goals and assessing progress,
and you had done it for yourself, so it gave you some credibility.
Right.
You have that education. And
it's always a work in progress, right?
Yes, absolutely. Yes.
So,
for all of us,
right.
for sure.
And I also realized while I was kind of on that journey for myself, how important it is to have people that support you, and some accountability helps. Right. And that I just kind of really dug my heels into that. So I did not think about going directly back to the schools. I felt like at that point I had been gone too long.
Right.
And the field of education changes so fast that it would have taken me a lot to get back up to date. And I think having my own kids, that's, if I'm going to work with kids, then my energy goes with either my own kids. Sure. And so
that wasn't your passion anymore.
It was not.
Okay.
So yeah.
Okay. And so then, how old were the kids when you felt like, or maybe it wasn't so much the kids, when you were settled somewhere, after so many moves? What was it that finally made you think, okay, I'm ready to start a new business?
Yeah. So when we were living abroad, before we were here, I started thinking about it, but I felt very unsure. Like, what am I going to do in this field? What is my place in this field? So I was unsure of what I wanted to do. So I began teaching a couple classes, fitness classes here and there. That was my first step into it. Okay. And then we moved here about 1.5 years ago, and I thought, okay, now I'm here. What am I going to do? Right. So it's like you reinvent yourself with every move.
Yes.
So I kept going back. Last fall, I flew back to Thailand to teach on a friend's fitness retreat that she had there. And she and I talked about, this is something that's really needed in the United States.
Absolutely.
And I thought, maybe I try to find a way to offer this retreat where women can get away. Maybe I try to figure out a way that I can offer that here in the U.S.
Right.
So, so I guess it was really once we moved here that I started zeroing in on that idea, because I felt more settled here.
Right.
The previous moves were short-term moves, and we knew we weren't going to be staying.
Right.
So I think.
And then coming up with the idea that it's sort of a mobile business, like we talked about. Like, you can, if you had to move again, you could take your whole business with you and kind of operate out of your home anywhere that you were.
Yep, absolutely.
So that's super helpful when you're moving around all the time. Well, that is really, really cool. So do you, so a little bit more about your business and what you're doing. I know you have a retreat coming up, and so what are you offering and what can people expect?
Okay, so it's a health and wellness retreat. It's 4 nights, and leading up to the retreat, we'll ask women to give us some information about kind of where they are in their own health and wellness journey and where they want to go. So do they want help kind of working towards certain goals? Or maybe they don't. Maybe they just want to get away for 4 days and work out and sit on the beach and, you know, have some good food, and that's fine too. So it doesn't have to be women that are looking to make a change necessarily, but really the point is to get away where the only responsibility you have is to focus on yourself.
Oh, that's nice.
So, because as I said earlier, we're caretakers by nature. We take care of everybody else before we take care of ourselves.
Right.
So the first retreat will be in Florida.
Okay.
And it's on the Panhandle in a beautiful location. And we stay in a house on the beach, and people will do beach workouts, they'll do pool workouts, we'll go paddle boarding, we'll go biking, we'll do a lot of different things. And also we'll have some reflection throughout the day. We'll have some topics to kind of think about. And again, this is something that people can take it or leave it. You know, they can, I mean, if
certain things they're going to be more interested in than
absolutely
others.
Right. So,
and you also have like a, you know, certified fitness instructors and chefs and all that kind of stuff.
So I am a certified group fitness instructor and a certified health coach. And then we'll have 2 other instructors that are certified in different areas, a yoga teacher, a nutritionist, and then we have a chef from that area that will collaborate with the nutritionist to make sure that the meals are healthy but still taste good.
Very good.
And
it sounds like a perfect girls trip.
And everything's included. So
great.
So it's not like you're going and saying, okay, I have to pay for this yoga class, I have to pay for this beach boot camp, whatever. It's just one all-inclusive price. And I think the other really amazing thing about it is that you have women coming from all over the country or even all over the world, and you learn a lot from them.
Absolutely.
Some have kids, some might not have kids, some work, some don't. And so you get all these different perspectives, and it's really, I think that's really rewarding.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, that's why I thought you would be such a good fit, because I just, you know, there's so many different ways that women can go about, you know, living their life and having their kids in their career or staying home. And, you know, I just like to hear how women are out there doing it.
Yeah.
So, you know, I guess, do you have any advice for some moms that are out there that maybe want to start something and they're nervous about it? Or,
well, I think, you know, I think it's okay to try something that you don't know for sure it's going to work out.
Yes.
It's super scary.
Yes, absolutely.
And you're going to have lots of doubts. And I think it's important to, you know, plow forward despite the doubts. And I think as moms, it's really important for our kids to see us taking risks and being a little bit vulnerable and saying, okay, she's trying this. She's scared, but, you know, she doesn't know how people are going to perceive it. And she's still doing it. And so that it may not be as obvious to them, but they're soaking it in.
It will someday. And I feel the same way when I launched this website, and I thought that there was an idea that would be interesting, and you know, I could provide some insights about real estate, because that goes back with everything that I've done over the years. But again, you have those doubts, like, is anybody going to watch? Is anybody going to read or listen? Or, you know, but it's better to try. We have to get out there and try. So, well, thank you so much.
You're welcome. This was great.
Oh, good. Thank you. And so where can everybody find your website and more information about what you're doing?
So you can go on it's called Rise Strong Retreats. So if the website's www.risestrongrretreats.com. There's a Facebook page and an Instagram page. So if you searched for Rise Strong Retreats on either of those platforms, then you would come up with us. Or if you see me or Erica, then you can ask us.
Yeah. And I will put all the information in the comments section below, so everyone will know where to find you. And I wish you all the best.
Thanks.
And thank you so much for interviewing with me.
Thank you.